Stand for pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Who's here?
All right. Brian Wiseman?
I'm here.
Carl English?
I'm here.
Bob Durant?
Here.
Barry Peterson? Brian Kubel?
Here.
Harry had contacted me earlier. I think he contacted everybody.
Yeah.
A conflicting engagement. Minutes, are we pending minutes?
Well, we have the last 2 minutes on there now.
December and January. I motion that we approve these. I read through them. They look like they're what my recollection is anyway.
Second that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion on either one? There being none, Jake?
Brian Wiseman?
Yes.
Carl English?
Yes, please.
Bob Durant?
Yes.
Brian Kubel?
Yes.
I won't bore you with my glad tonight, so we'll show forward past the president's message, and we'll go into the attorney's report.
So we've advertised for our leases for the two properties that we do every year, and those will be running in Northwest Indiana times on the 17th. And then 7 days later, so that it's time for ahead of the March 5th meeting. And that's intentional. We'll open them at 4:30 when they're due. The call I was making to Jake is we already have those out as leases. Those people are contacted directly usually for them to be able to be aware that it is up. So. I have not talked to them before. Dave has done that in the past, or Jake has done that. So, getting a random attorney phone call would be something we'd like to avoid. We can have somebody who already knows them call. Then we didn't have any kind of updates with regard to any of our donations, which we were monitoring to see whether or not those come to fruition. And I'm calling them just generally, that would be the Presbyterian Church. There's a Morgan Township potential, and then there was also I forgot his name again, excuse me, Hodgson.
John Hudson.
I'm sorry. And then so we're monitoring those to see whether or not that, anything comes of that. There was not any additional update for those. So that would be the attorney report for February.
Any questions?
Just a little update on John Hobson and his potential donation of that land. I spoke with him, really emailed him this past week, and he has met with his attorney, and they're working through what he said were a couple of options that he wants to decide on. But he's intent on moving forward with this as quickly as possible for us to be able to move forward with it on our end. So he's very serious about it. He met last week with his attorney and hopes to have those options to consider on his end very soon. So things are still moving in the right direction.
Yay.
Good. That's great. We're familiar with his attorney. As soon as he gets it down to a couple of different options, we'll take a look at it.
Awesome. Perfect. Outstanding. All right. Any other questions for the attorney? All right. Let's move into budgets. Budget and personnel. Ryan, do you have anything in that? All right.
No.
We still have a little bit of money. We're not over.
It's February.
Okay.
So.
Good deal. Jake, you have something?
Yeah, so with the budget and personnel, when we were doing the budget.
You want to break out the one Matthew, I think.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Last year, we were going to make an effort at budget session to get the MRT's pay up a little bit so it was in line with the rest of the department. And then those didn't really get looked at budget season, So I wanted to bring it up again to the board to kind of reaffirm that, to bring Matt Z's pay up, to get her back in line with the rest of the department, with this being lower than everyone else's. And then submit that to the council.
MRT?
Maintenance repair technician.
Okay.
The total change in salary for that one, was $3,090. I would ask to come out of the operating fund, I wouldn't ask for that out of the general fund. And then a few dollars in perf and pension, I don't think that'd be too much on any of those. But yeah, I'd like to reaffirm that, so we get that in front of the council, hopefully in March, if they'll let me know in December.
Do we need to make a motion for that, Jake, or just conversation?
Don't know if we need a motion, because we did it during the budget last year, and it just kind of got tabled when the county council was doing the blanket raises. So I don't know if we need a revote, that probably wouldn't hurt.
Well, if we're wanting to reaffirm our prior commitment, I'll entertain a motion for reaffirmation.
I move that we turn back to that conversation we had before to increase Matt Z's salary to make it in line with the others. Is that what we're aiming to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, I move to do that.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? There being none. Jake?
Brian Whiten,
Yes.
Carl Davis,
Yes.
Bob Roots,
Yes.
Brian Cubel.
Yes.
Anything else under monies that we, we can't talk about?
I was gonna say, the more flows into his report, so I was gonna say, 700 house and stuff like that, but it, like I said, kind of goes right into your report with the grant and everything, so.
Okay. Land use maintenance and animals. Talk to us.
Nothing, I think animals are going, from what I understand, animals are fine, and your helpers are being helpful, and
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, volunteer program, I'm tentatively very excited.
Tentatively excited?
Everything so far has gone well, everybody's shown up for their shifts.
Good.
They know what
Even
to
through
do.
the cold, when it was a cold, the bitter cold snap.
Well, we canceled those, so it was us out there, but we didn't want to, traumatize our volunteers.
Didn't want to freak them out and not let them show up again?
Exactly.
Good idea.
How many do you have?
Right now, on schedule, I have 6 or 7, and then I have another one. Now we're just waiting for the one-on-one training. We make them do a shift with either Angie or I. And I have 2 waiting to do that. So.
That's great.
Going really well.
That's good.
Fantastic.
And then land use, 700 house, which we'll talk about, and maintenance, lights are down, we're starting to get stuff ready for the grass to grow in 2 months, so.
Are we looking at, are we still getting prices on some of that other equipment? Okay. But nothing to actually make a decision?
Nothing to bring up to vote or discuss yet. We can get some quotes. We've got some quotes for mowers. We're gonna get some quotes for, our big tractor needs repaired, skid steer needs repaired, so we're working on all that. Our vehicles all been in that service, so vehicles are all to par as best they can be.
All right. Anything else? Nothing?
That's it.
All right, moving on. Marketing education.
The only update that I have is on our capital campaign committee, and just to update everybody where we are on that, Dr. Larry McAfee, Nate Oldricks, Jake, Brian, myself, and Michael Sawyer. We've been working for the last 4 or 5 months as a committee to put together a plan and then to prepare to raise funds to build the Nature and Event Center at Sunset Hill, as well as kickstart the South County Park. So our ambition is to raise a good deal of money from generous donors who want to invest in this generation of change for our parks. So we have prepared a 2-sided handout that's informative, graphics, pictures, as well as a letter from Jake and a letter from Commissioner Jim Davis. This was very well written. So we had our very first prospective donor meeting and it went, Dr. McAfee and I met with one of our prospective donors, and we were very, very well received. They're very interested in being part of this and contributing. So we're going to continue that conversation, and we're meeting again next week as a committee to finalize a couple of last details, and then we're going to launch. We're going to get out there, raise a lot of money, and really move these projects and vision forward.
Yep. To set on that, Dr. McAfee and I also met with a group, not-for-profit organization, and they're most certainly very interested. They still have, their board has to decide where their budgets are going to be, and he gave us a lot of clarification about if we're going to apply for a type of grant that they have where we have to be before we can even apply for it.
Okay.
So, but I don't think that those parameters are going to be very hard for us to reach. There'll be work, but that's what we do. So it went very well, and he gave us a lot of good insight on their programs, and he also gave us 4 other potential people to make sure we contact. If he wasn't on board with the plan, he certainly wouldn't be putting his friends out to us. Yeah, it was an interesting couple of weeks.
Great.
And then I did reach out to Legacy Post and Beam again, since we talked about kind of the size of the building, to get us a new budgetary estimate on what a 12,000 square foot facility out there would be. So I should have that in a couple of weeks. So we'll know kind of what our target is for that one.
Are we doing any mailers again this year with the tax bills?
I think we should. I think it went well, and it didn't cost us too much, so.
We're going to want to move on that.
Yeah.
Pretty darn quick if we're going to do that again. I'll have to go back and look in the notes, see who I contacted.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a process. You didn't do it again.
Yep.
Yeah, now it's just, let's do it again.
Yep.
We don't have to build it again.
Right, yeah, because we already got it ready to go. It's just a matter of-
Although with updated information.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Can't just go with Jimmy, and it's gonna be right around the corner, so.
Making sure.
Okay. Master plan. I still have my push for you guys to have it done this year. I'd like to get it in front of both the elected boards of commissioners and the county council September, October, before the general election. And then that will also help us out for grant work going forward into 2027 with their approval, which would be the county's official view of the parks on your master plan. But I know you and Harris have been working on that and stuff, especially in this time of year. It's kind of taxing on the old calendar, so.
Yeah, so I know that one thing that John Hobson wants to do is once he settles on an approach that he's most comfortable moving forward with, he wants to sit down with our master plan committee and finalize not only the details from his end, but then discuss what that would look like going into our master plan. Because it's a huge part of what our master plan could look like relative to what it could have looked like 6 months ago before we were able to rekindle this. So, Jake, we had talked, a couple of months ago about where we were. We did some revisions and updated, and what we really did was we streamlined a lot of things. So it wasn't so voluminous, right? It was just streamlined and to the point and manageable, accessible. You did a really good job on that, Jake, so we need to pick up where we left off before the holidays and everything, and get that.
Yeah, so it should, you probably all get that done by September. Get that wrapped out.
Okay. Awesome, thank you.
All right. I think that's all of our committees, right? Good, okay. All right, well, how about the staff?
All right. So, doing the staff report. Mostly what I've been working on and working with Jackie on, are a bunch of grants we're going after right now. The big one is the Mission Coastal Program grant for $50,000 for the fishing piers at Brookdale. I haven't been talking, I gotta submit that one in March. So it's final to that one.
Are those like built in or like floating ones?
There'll be floating ones, we'll have, they'll float. The water fluctuates 3 to 4 feet, so.
Yeah.
And it'll be ADA accessible too, they'll have ramps and railings and built-in benches.
Awesome.
And then, any day now, we should be receiving last year's $40,000 in the Michigan Coastal Program grant that we got for campus expenses. We didn't get that last year. So we should be getting that again, or should be getting that $40,000 this year. That was part of the money that got froze when everything was getting froze. It was unfroze, distributed to the state. The state had to work on the POs, and POs haven't been written yet by the state. But the grants were approved, the funding was approved, the expenses and everything will be approved. So we'll get that $40,000, and we'll be able to use that this year as we move forward with the camp and all those expenses. We'll have that $40,000 to offset some of that. And then the Porter County Community Foundation will go on for $10,000 community combine playground. We're doing our project support for $5,000 for the concert in June, and then the America Walks Change Grant for $2,000 for Hawk Ridge to further develop the trails out there. And then finalize the subdivided plan to 700 house. Kevin and I are taking that planning tomorrow to submit, to get on the agenda, to get that subdivide done. Once that subdivide is approved, all the variances will be included with that, and we should go put the house on the market at that point and get that property sold. And then working with Jackie and Melanie on beer gardens and the concert. We've got those coming up, so we're working with Kurt on this as well for that. The highlights, the 5K foot pursuit training has began. Several of the art classes are being well attended. Started the intro to the cricket class that Becky's working on. And then, like we just talked about recently, the animal care, the volunteers is off to a good start. So I imagine that'll grow as it kind of helps us out with getting them to stick around for a little while. Haven't had to deal with frozen water out by the animals, so that's been nice.
Not a surprise.
And we plan for the spring field trip season, that's coming around, so we're working on all that. Continuing to get ready for spring break camp, and then regular camp as well.
And that registration opened up the 2nd, right? And how did that go so far?
Really smoothly.
Yeah.
Gone really well, and there's been no issues, so.
Still room? Good.
Did we do spring break camp last year?
We did.
How many years have we done it?
Just
Just second,
second
yeah.
year.
Yeah, we did it back when, way back when I was a nationalist, we did it for a year. And then we decided to bring it back last year.
If we fill it up, how many students?
We're doing 30.
30?
Yeah.
All right, you think it'll fill up?
It filled up last year.
All right.
We had a really good time.
Good.
We'll get there once we get closer. That's kind of what happened last year. It was kind of slow.
Right at the end.
The closer we got, we're like, oh wait, I need someone from Macon to go.
Exactly.
Well, the nice part is, it's on the big sign right in the corner of Meridian and 6, so that's
Yep.
really cool to see. Be quiet.
And then with maintenance, we've got to remove some dead trees, and replace the stump pump and move across. Just standard winter duties, snow plowing, shoveling, salting. We're about out of salt, surprise, like everybody else is. So we're trying to find salt too, but we'll get it where we can. That's kind of what we do.
Some folks are like sitting out in their yard.
Yeah.
Water in the storage anymore? Yes.
Well, as long as the discharge line is we gotta figure out the insulate the discharge line is better, but I'll work on that.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Any questions about the staff report? All right. How about, let's get into it. How about NIPA?
Hi, I'm Deb Armstrong, Northern Indiana Historical Power Association. About the same report as last month. We're doing a lot of brainstorming over our winter months because we can't play on our tractors. We talked about our 50th anniversary show due this fall, so we're excited about that. We're calling it Battle of the Brands and trying to attract as many different varieties of brands instead of having one featured tractor, have all kinds of tractors coming in. We've been doing social media posts, some historical posts from when our club first started. And then we talked about partnering with Porter County Museum. I know we'll be talking with them. They're doing a big project for the fair this summer, and they hope to partner with us on representing our 50th anniversary. We're gathering some history there, getting some crowdsourcing, finding people's memories of coming to the show over the years. Our first annual show was at the old fairgrounds, and then we moved to Sunset Hill Farm, was at 89. So we're excited about celebrating that 50th anniversary. I mentioned last time our show was actually going to start on Thursday, and we fill out the paperwork and have it on the calendar, get it ready. We're excited about adding a second education day. There was some scheduling conflicts last year with the kids having half day on Friday, so we've added Thursday as extra education day. We'll be partnering with Kiwanis Sunrise and maybe noontime to do our guide for the education day. And we're excited to have that, meet the animals there too, that offer to do that. And yes, of course, the Ilian Garden Road, not forget them. They're a big part of our success. We partner with some other local groups, South Lake County Tractor Show, always comes to help us out. They're not at their show, we've been updated our website. We've got live links, and they've added the Porter County Park Department links on our site. So, let's see. Yeah, we're trying to come up with some brainstorming some special events for our show, trying to treat it like homecoming, or do something special to honor some of our older members, our charter members, and some longtime members. Looking at maybe changing the gate where we get traffic in and get them parked and then have a walk-in gate. So if you're doing the beer gardens again, if you'll still have that function, we may utilize that and have that area as a walk-in gate. And then separate entrance for the visitors, just to get people in and get them off the road and make it more safe around Meridian and Route 6. Going to have a quilt show, fiber art show. We've been talking to Becky about that, so we're excited. And then Charlie touched on building maintenance. Our last meeting, they're still getting some quotes on materials and labor, and I think they did talk to the education group,
Right.
building trades.
Building and trades.
Yeah, you gave Charlie that contact. So I think they're a little bit farther out with their scheduling, so maybe they can help us next year, but we'll proceed with that we need to have done, and we're just trying to prioritize that, and we'll keep in touch with the park department about which buildings need the most work first before anything happens. Any questions for us?
I had one, and it may be for Jake as well. Months ago, there was talk of some historical artifacts and information in the attic of the old farmhouse or somewhere that could be really, really useful for your 50th anniversary show. Was that found? Was it dusted all?
Covered some of it, but
I think some of it was found, because it was in the attic of the old naturalist office.
Okay.
So someone's got the vacuum attached to the back of it. And I believe Matt and Becky went up and they found most of it. There was the lobsters missing, I think, from what I understood. So I think most of that was recovered.
Does Matt have that? Is he doing something with it?
Yeah,
for
he's been talking
presentation?
to Kevin at the Porter County Museum.
Yeah, awesome, good.
Yeah. We just try to tie that all together with Sunset Hill history, Napa history, Porter County history.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming again. All right, how about the railroad?
everybody. Apologize for my voice, I'm not contagious, I just have bad allergies right now. Sneezing is taking away my voice. Really what I want to report on is, in our last board meeting and society meeting, we settled on what days we're going to have stuff. We're going to have our special events. Jake, Jackie, Todd, all you folks back here, I'll go ahead and send you an email. I'll ask our tentative days, because we're looking at Circus Day in the middle of June, Christmas in July. We're going to make that happen. We had a lot of inquiries last year about it, seeing if we could do it or not. In fact, we had a lot of inquiries, do you guys run your food? And we said, well, we can, we're getting people out here in the cold weather. I mean, what we do at home. So we're going to have Christmas in July. Tallis Day will be in August. Trunk or Treat, of course, will stay open in October. And really, like for your concert and stuff like that, what we'd like to do is a lot of these days, well, of course, the Member Show, then we're already lined up for all 4 days. So we're going to have folks out there all 4 days, on Thursday through Sunday. What we'd like to do is take these special days and get them and coordinate them with when you have a concert out there, or when you have the beer gardens, or last year you had the vendors just south of the layout. You had music and you had vendors and stuff. Because that brings in a lot of people, and actually they come over. In fact, last year when we had the vendor test, we ended up getting 2 new members because of that. A couple of young men came over, convinced their mom or their grandmother to join the club. So that's pretty much it right now. Like I said, I'll send you what our tentative dates are, but I'd like to coordinate them, and we're getting set up to run on Fridays again for King Foot Center. So that's really about it right now. We've repaired almost all of our buildings, just a couple more left, and we'll be ready to go. We'll start bringing people out in April and May, or I should say March and April. Because of the success of the football team last year, Mr. DeRunt's helping us spearhead that, we made an application to Billy Doolin.
Awesome.
Because what we found out, Stephanie Clark is the lady that's the receptionist at the school.
Right.
Her grandfather, Ray, is Ray that comes in with me. He's one of the vice presidents. Yeah, Ray Rakowski is Stephanie Clark's father. Right? So she mentioned there were all sorts of kids at the school. They found out that the football players were coming out. They didn't want to get left out. So we went ahead and made that application. So we're going to get some bodies out there to help us with the larger projects again that we had. One question that came up in our board meeting before I had, Jake, are we still looking at, are you still looking at getting a train playground near the train layout?
Short answer, yes.
Okay.
Long answer, I don't know when.
Okay.
But yeah.
That was my reply to the board meeting and the society meeting. The answer is yes, but we don't have the time.
Correct.
Any questions from anybody?
Fantastic. Exciting.
Keep up the good work.
We'll be opening up in no later than mid-May again, so
Awesome.
business like you all do anyhow.
Thank you much.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Park Foundation. Drew, you want to speak on their behalf?
Thank you, kind sir, for the invite, but no.
Okay. All right, how about our photo club?
Well, most of you know I'm Steve Betzing of the Dula Photography Club. We're always excited to be at Sunset Hill. I was thinking about, where we came from and how we've grown over the years. We actually, part of our club started out, we got 2 clubs together. Part of our club was from Tall Tree, they met there. Part of our club met at, when I got involved, the Union Township Fire Department. Somehow, over time, we ended up at Sunset Hill. And so, one of the things that, as we've grown, we have kind of broadened our area. For example, we just got a couple new members last night, or this week, from Michigan City. We get people from the Fort. We had a speaker this week from South Bend. One of our members last night was at our meeting. He's from Lansing, Illinois. So we're bringing all these people to Porter County, and they're getting to experience the park. One of the ways that we get people to experience is, for example, the photos that we do for the calendar every month. It's encouraging people to go to the 4 parks, get out and take pictures, and then we use that to promote the parks. And so I think it's kind of the way we can work together a little bit on that. Our attendance has been pretty good, and we're getting new people seems like every month we've got new people, so it's always good to bring in those people. I wanted to mention, we're always thinking of new ways to help, but one of the ways we do help is we provide classes for the public. And so our own Deb Armstrong is going to be teaching the class we're planning on in April, a free class for the public on cell phone photography. That's really popular these days. And so we're making plans to make that happen. And we're bringing people out to Sunset Hill for that. We do some other things too, of course, when things are going on. I will give you just a statement to kind of teach you a little bit. Our club executive committee has been thinking about ways we can help the parks out in other ways. So when I have something specific, I'll let you know, but we're talking about that. I'll let you know that.
Good.
And I want to give you an invitation. We partner with a lot of art organizations in the area, the Chesterton Art Center, the Art Barn, many others around that even some of the painter groups like Plein Painters in the area. We right now have an exhibit at the Chesterton Art Center, and this Saturday at noon we have a reception. And we'd like to invite everybody to come out Saturday at noon. 26 of our members are exhibiting work in this. And, it's part of bringing the community together with other organizations in the area too. So I guess that's about all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Where's the exhibit at?
What's that?
Where's the exhibit at?
It's the Chesterton Art Center. They're an organization that's growing too. They have a new building that they're expanding there too, but that's where it'll be Saturday.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. All right, public comments? There being none. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
So moved. Signify by saying aye. Aye. Who wants